On the Jacob Buehrer Show today, I am so happy to have on Kaleb Yarbrough. Did I get that correctly?
Yeah, you did.
So this is a different type of interview. I oftentimes have people joining me by Zoom. And today I am in, I think, where we at First Street Towers.
First Streets, yeah.
I had a class with this guy. We're done with that class now.
Mhm.
We both passed. So
That class was definitely
and
interesting.
Dr. Claire Mason is an incredible professor. I just want to put that out there.
I want to thank her very much. She made it very easy.
So if you are looking at Purdue next year, check out her for SCLA 101. Yeah, it was 101 that we had.
101, yeah. She also does 102. She actually does 102. That's her main thing. She was asked to do 101 and she just said, yeah, but 102 is her main thing.
That's why she was cool with us. So this is kind of a different type of podcast because, normally when I interview people like, former vice president, a lot of politics is going to get discussed in that. Or if I interview a rapper, a lot of rap. I don't know you 100%, but that's what makes for a great interview. Two college kids. Tell us a little bit, where are you from?
All right, so I'm from the suburbs of Chicago. I'm from a town, Homewood, Flossmoor. It's actually two towns. Homewood's one town, Flossmoor's one town. But usually the people combine it because it's like one big community. Our high school is called Homewood Flossmoor High School. It's just two big towns. HF High School. Fun fact, that's actually where Juice WRLD went. I knew him.
You knew Juice WRLD?
I knew Juice WRLD.
Like personally?
Personally. The girl that he made Lucid Dreams for, Bella, I've talked to her. She was a senior when I was a freshman.
So did you ever meet him?
Oh, yeah. I knew his parents.
Wow. Yeah. You're joking. Okay. Since this is a big closure for an interview to start, I was going to say, let's talk about that later, but discuss it. So what was Juice WRLD like then?
Honestly, I don't like talking bad about people, but he definitely was a person that if he wasn't famous, you probably wouldn't like him, only because he was very, this is a good personal trait. He was very focused on himself and he had a really great work ethic.
Absolutely, all rappers do, even if their music sucks. Yeah. I mean, to make it to a Billboard.
Yeah. They put themselves to the test and they feel that they can do what they do and they try their best. And Juice, he was really into music. He was in band. I was also in band, so Miss Woodlock was our instructor. He played the drums and she would talk about him all the time. And he was kind of sad and depressing, to be honest.
Wow. But
sad and depressing. He was on drugs, so I mean that's kind of obvious. But he made great music and he would ask people, he would ask around.
Did he have his phone number when he was alive?
No, I didn't have his phone. I didn't have his number, all that.
But you could have got in touch with him if you actually wanted to.
Yeah, definitely.
You could have got him on the show if he was still alive.
Yeah. I probably could have.
Wow. Who else? A lot of rappers come from Chicago. Yeah, Chicago. Sir Mix-a-Lot I've interviewed. Seattle's a little area. Macklemore's from there as well. Yeah. As well as San Francisco, of course. You've got grades like MC Hammer, the Loonies. And then, of course, New York City, Harlem.
Of course.
And a little bit of Las Vegas. But any other famous people that?
Yeah, so I don't know how to explain this. The song is called Catch You Like a Mixtape If You're Reading This Is Too Late or something like that. Have you heard that?
I have not.
Yeah. That was filmed in the locker room of my school. That went viral.
Who's the singer?
It was a group of people. You want me to pull it up?
Yes.
I'll pull it up.
And by the way, for new people who might not know who I am, since I'm sure Kaleb's bringing a new audience to us, since you're from a state over.
Yeah.
I'm Jacob Buehrer. I pretty much interview people, and I love to interview all sorts of different people. It doesn't matter if they're a rapper. I've interviewed a 9/11 survivor. I love interviewing different people. And this interview is already completely different than all my others interviews, which I really love and admire. Hotheads. I've not heard of them.
This is the original. This was in the locker room. Now he running like a track race. Catch a nigga while he waiting on his dinner because his hit off nigga's ass with a full plate. Nigga talking shit, put the metal to his mouth. Now I call his ass praise face. Yo, bitch up the like a sweet cake. And I eat her ass like a cheesecake. And that's just a little snippet. And you saw they released the song 44 million views 7 years ago. It's very old. This is before I went there.
Wow. And then Juice WRLD didn't go there when he went there. He was like 5 years older, right?
He was 5 years, yeah. So we left the year before I got there.
Wow.
But the girl that he made Lucid Dreams about was still there.
Interesting. Wow. Crazy.
And then Queen Key, she went to my high school too. She made My Way.
Yep. I've heard of her.
You definitely heard this song.
Put it up.
YouTube ads.
Hey, this one makes for a good podcast. Damn. Crazy. I like a little bit of Morgan Wallen though.
Oh, I like Morgan Wallen too.
And real quick, funny story. If Lil Pump ever comes to Indianapolis, I'm supposed to interview him.
Really?
Yeah.
You've talked to
I've
him?
talked to his manager.
That's great.
I told the manager I'd come down for Christmas break to go there, but they didn't get back to me on that.
Lil Pump is interesting. I used to love him. I used to be addicted to his music. 6th, 7th grade. Gucci Gang, Gucci Gang, Gucci Gang. That was like 2017.
I love it with Kanye. That was a good one.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny, actually, a quick story about Kanye. When he ran for president, he picked like a VP candidate, like how the Republicans and Democrats do. I've interviewed that lady. I'm the only person to ever get to her on the show. She denied Fox News, CNN. She was like my 5th interview. So I was really new. Now I've done like 140, but that's when I knew I could get on people on my show. When I was able to get her on, even though it was kind of like a joke campaign, love Michelle if she's listening. It was like, okay, this lady's gotten 200 media requests. And she said yes to like some poverty project to make a video and me.
That's wild.
And she could have said yes to Fox News, probably been on Ellen DeGeneres show because of that or something. So that's when I knew like maybe this reality's thing that I had on Melissa from Dance Moms and people love that. So now it's like I love interviewing people. I'm not rich off of this. I want to make it clear, but clearly there's a future in it, you know? So definitely. Now, of course, when I interview somebody, it's not about me at all. It's about you. So why did you pick Purdue? And you're studying engineering.
Yeah. So I picked Purdue primarily because of the engineering program. You know, Purdue has one of the best programs in the world, literally top 5, I think number 2 or 3 undergrad. And specifically, I want to go into aero because I want to be an astronaut. You know,
I've
Purdue.
interviewed an astronaut.
Oh yeah, you've told me. And you know, Purdue's they're a big engineering or they're a big astronaut school. Obviously, Neil Armstrong,
Gene Cernan, the last guy to walk on
a lot of people from Purdue. So
Gus Grissom, who died on the Apollo 1 launch pad, and Roger Chaffee.
And I plan to add my name to the
list.
Please. So.
That means I can almost count today, 20 years from now, hopefully that it was my 23rd astronaut to interview. Yeah. So take us through a little bit. Did you play sports growing up?
Yeah, I played sports. I've dipped in a few sports. I played basketball, football, soccer.
Were you good at football?
Yeah, I was all right. I broke my wrist.
Were you a safety?
No, I was a slot in DB. So I was receiver mostly, and I also played corner. So soccer, that's what I was the best at. I'm getting more into golf now. I love golf. I hate caddying. Oops. I got to get you into it, bro.
Yeah.
It's fun. People that say they hate golf is just because they don't understand it. So I'll teach you.
Just like people who has SCLA. It was a fun class in the end.
It was fun. It was really fun.
We were playing with Legos in that class.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be clear though, if an adult's like, okay, what's going on in college today? We had some long, big essays to write.
Oh no, yeah, definitely. We put the work in. We put the work in, but she also made sure to reward us with the fun stuff too.
And it was like fun. Like there was times where I was like, I could probably lose a day of it because the attendance was mandatory, but you could probably miss 3 classes. And I didn't miss any. I never missed a single. I was late about 2 minutes every day, but
that's a lie. I missed 1 class only because do you remember like in the middle of the semester when we had the Medea paper and she gave us like days off to like work on it and stuff? I thought we had an extra day off. We didn't, so I missed that day. But besides that, I've always come to class. I've always been attentive, done the discussions. We had our little friend group. We would do things after class. We've talked to Mason. Yeah, so I was always active in that class.
For sure. No, it was a good class. And look, the only reason I'm interviewing you, which we've also run into each other at a function.
Yeah.
But I would have known you from that function through class. So, you know, that's something I did not expect. When I was in SCLA, I was like, I'm never going to see these people again.
And look at us now.
And yeah, so
that you make when
I know, crazy. And yeah, I made a podcast through that class one time with the Monkey King podcast. That video is private on YouTube, so you can't find it. And I don't want you to see it either. Maybe when I hit 1,000 subscribers, I'll release that. No, 10,000, but 10,000, I'll do it.
10,000.
But
10,000.
So are you a big Purdue basketball fan then?
Yeah, I like Purdue basketball.
I've interviewed one of our players, Jace Rail. Shout out to him. He's a freshman on the team, so he's not getting too much playing time. Hell of a guy, though. He's got a bright future.
Miles Corvin as well. I like Miles Corvin. My girlfriend knows his sister.
Roosevelt. Roosevelt's the dad.
No. What's her sister? She plays volleyball.
Yep, she's Ray.
Yeah. The parents and all. My girlfriend's dad actually played ball here.
Wow.
Matt Gaddis. You can look him up. He played. He actually, do you know Bobby Knight, the IU coach
Yeah,
that just
I've
died?
interviewed Gene Katie, who was our basketball head coach for the Katie versus Knight rivalry.
He played in that game where Bob Knight threw the chair.
Wow.
The Purdue IU game.
Wow.
He was in that game. And I remember I went to their house for the very first time, and there was like signed jerseys from like Karl Malone, Kobe, and all these
Karl
big stars.
Malone,
Like,
yeah,
whoa.
he was the Jazz guy.
Yeah.
I texted him the other day. He texted me back. He's not yet committed though to the show. I want to make that very clear. The other one I've been trying to get on is Jakeem Noah. He texted me.
Yep, Joakim Noah. Man, speaking of Joakim Noah, the 2011 Bulls squad.
Yep.
Derrick Rose, Joakim Noah.
Didn't Joakim Noah get in trouble for smoking weed or something?
I don't know.
Probably.
I have no clue.
Okay, this is an off-scripted thing. I've heard the rumors is Jimmy Butler, Michael Jordan's son. Have you heard those?
I have heard those, and I think it's ridiculous.
After I saw a little short, call me a conspiracy theorist.
See, the thing about conspiracies is people will always make it sound like they're connected, even though they're not. Like, you can literally, if you wanted to, you could take a piece of paper and argue why paper was made by aliens. And you could pull evidence together and just make your argument sound right, and people are gonna be like, this actually.
But there were some
reasonable.
conspiracies that I believe. Number one,
yeah,
COVID was from China.
Yeah,
I want to put that out there, and no, that's not racist, and I'll debate you on that. It was from China.
Yeah, I mean, it's scientifically proven.
The second is that the Epstein conspiracy that had been like in 22. I'm not trying to be an Alex Jones fan or anything, but he did say in 2000 that that there was people on an island that were having sex with kids, and look who got busted.
Yeah,
and the third conspiracy is that he did not kill himself. Somebody else killed Epstein.
Yeah.
So many I mean, Donald Trump was friends with Epstein. Bill Clinton. So Democrats and Republicans. I mean, so many people were. I shouldn't even say friends, but he knew everybody.
Yeah,
Prince
he was
Andrew.
powerful.
But point is, those three conspiracies, I think we can agree, are not conspiracies. They're absolutely true. To say 9/11's an inside job, that's a step too far. I've interviewed a 9/11 survivor. And I'm not a fan of people who believe in that. Or to say like aliens are 100% real, no. But
I think aliens are real. I think aliens are real. You think the Egyptians built the pyramids from scratch by themselves? The level of architecture and geometry that went into those structures, you think those ancient Egyptians could do that by themselves? First off, each block weighed like 2 tons. I'll have you know that. Yes, they could.
Did you see this on Joe Rogan's show?
No. I know this. I just know this from school.
This is a good talk. Yeah.
Each of the blocks were around 2,000 pounds. The largest pyramid itself it took like 12,000 of those bricks to make it. 12,000 of those bricks. Yes, it took them a long time and they had slaves, but still, I don't even think, because now the technology that we have nowadays couldn't even replicate the pyramids.
Yeah, and I've heard that.
The technology we have now, we can't create the pyramids with what we have now. Good point. So how did they do it back then?
Valid. Okay.
And they were white. Did you know that the pyramids were originally white?
Yep.
They used clay to convert the color into white, but they had a golden top, a golden dome.
Crazy.
What inspired them to do that?
So that's something I just try to think about. Why can't we build like decent roads today when that comes to mind?
It's like they did all this back in the day.
Yeah, I think that's valid. I mean, so I've kind of heard this. There's been like 4 turnings to the world that they say, like every like 800 years, there's a new turning where like the world gets bad again, and then it was good before. Maybe that's how we've always been. You know, people say that the world's a horrible place today. Maybe we're in this 100-year rough period. Shit goes wrong, and then we have a good. I don't know. I've just heard you've heard that 4th turning thing before.
I think this is the last chapter of humans on Earth.
You do.
Yeah.
Well, as somebody who believes in God, and the reason why I believe in a God is because of everything around us.
Yeah.
And you don't have, I say to people, you don't have to believe in Jesus Christ. That's okay. But to say that there's no higher power out there.
Oh, there definitely is.
Right.
There definitely is.
And I mean, the Big Bang, I've interviewed astronauts. I've interviewed a guy who's walked on the moon.
Yeah.
And I can tell you that guy said like, he went back like, I'm a Christian. Like there is a God out there. So hearing him discuss it on my show totally helped change my viewpoint of it. I just want to make that clear out there. I'd always gone to church growing up, accepted Christ, but I'm telling you, after what he said, it was like, wow, this guy's experienced something that only 12 people have. 12 people have walked on the moon.
Yeah.
He's one of the last 4 living guys. So when I heard that from him, it was like, when I hear him say like, yeah, I've walked on the moon, a different surface, that's not Earth. And he's like, there's definitely a creator and a higher power out there. It touched me hard hearing those words directly to me through this microphone.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on religion?
I personally am a Christian. I've actually been trying to get closer and closer, and especially in college, I'm trying to have a bigger spot of like God in my life.
I've been trying to listen to more Christian music. When I was going through a tough time in September, shout out to Brandon Heath's music and New Boys. Listen to a lot of their music. Still do.
Yeah, I've been going to church more lately. Me and my girl are gonna go to church. We're gonna go to service tomorrow morning. We went to service Thursday. Salt Co. We go to Salt Co.
Yeah, I'm trying to get going to Salt. It's just been such a busy schedule.
Yeah. I think I'm not able to attend the Salt conference in Iowa in January, but I think she is. I think she's gonna go. It's from the 5th to the 7th, I believe. It's gonna be an awesome experience.
Wow.
I'm sad that I won't be able to
How many
go.
people are in Salt?
Ooh, it's a huge organization. They have their organization is nationwide. It's not just Purdue. They have it at IU, they have it at Iowa, they have it at schools all over.
How many people are in it? Here,
probably
100.
Here, probably maybe like 400.
Wow. Do 400 people really come every Thursday?
No, I'd say. That room was packed. I'd probably say it was like around 200 people in that room.
Dang. Do you get to meet good friends through that?
Yeah, I actually did. I've been talking. You know, Lauren in our English.
Yep.
Yeah, she saw them.
Awesome.
I saw her there.
Wow.
I saw her there on Thursday. So yeah.
Awesome. Wow. I've also gone to the BYX thing, a couple of their worship nights. So It's so tough though. And I think, college is about having fun. I'm going to make that clear, as well as getting good grades.
Yeah.
But you could die at any moment. And I think you open up the word, there is worth a point to believe in God and to try to trust in God. Look, I'm not perfect. I'm a sinner. I don't put that out there. I've made a lot of mistakes, SCLA, how I wrote essays, bigger mistakes than that though at times.
Yeah.
But there's a point out there to I just believe that there's a God out there,
Yeah.
At a time I didn't want to believe that there was a God, but now that I've seen how the world is, I'm like, I hope there's a better place. Earth, I'm not one who says this world sucks or, tries to litter. I try to be positive and encouraging, but I definitely want to believe that there's a better place after Earth where you go if you're a believer.
Yeah.
Make no mistake, have fun on Earth while it's here, I'm not saying don't drink, don't smoke, or, none of that stuff, but definitely, I think there's a point of trying to believe in religion. I don't think you're weird and psychic for thinking that there's a spirit out there that you can't see.
Yeah.
I can't see Joe Biden, but I know he's our president.
Presidents. Who's running in the 2024?
So that's you want to discuss it. So we got Vivek Ramaswamy.
Who the hell is that?
He's an Indian guy running. Vivek, you've seen him. He's the guy who wants to abolish the Department of Education.
Oh yeah, I have seen him.
Donald Trump, Ron DeSantis, Joe Biden, RFK Jr., who is JFK's nephew. He was supposed to come on my show. Little pissed that that's not happening at the moment. You'd be shocked how close I get with some of these guys that are really big. His dad was assassinated.
Yeah.
And his uncle was assassinated. RFK was assassinated as well as JFK. His brother was attorney general. His uncle was the president. So really, really, really interesting stuff there. But personally, at the moment, as somebody who actually works in politics, I think Joe Biden's going to win because Republicans do not have a good ball game right now.
Well, see, the thing about Republicans that they do better than the Democrats is gerrymandering and campaigning. They prepare their candidates much better than the Democrats do.
I disagree with that. As somebody who's in the Republican Party, I'll say we like to kick out our own. Example, George Santos. I don't know if you heard, he's the guy who got kicked out for lying. He was a scumbag.
Yeah.
Republicans broke with him.
But he's still.
There was a Democratic rep who was anti-Semitic, and she's still in Congress, and no Democrats will break over and vote to get her out of there. Democrats bond together. Well, Republicans do not bond together. Somebody who's worked for Republicans, we do a horrible job bonding together.
I feel like politics itself, like the whole Democrat-Republican Party, they've lost their ways.
I agree with you completely.
They've lost.
But what happens is enough people keep saying, checking off the red, if they live in Texas or in Illinois, your state, the blue box, and that's how we keep having these shitty.
And a lot of in another problem is the people themselves aren't educated on politics. They look at the candidates and they're like, oh, he's Democrat. I'm just gonna go for him. Oh, he's Republican. I'm just gonna go for him.
Yep.
So that's literally what they do.
Yep. And here's another thing I'll say. I have more respect for somebody who's far left or far right than a moderate.
Yeah.
The reason why is the moderates are what a populist standpoint is. Abortion cut off at 12 or 16 weeks. A far right person is going to say, yeah, abortion cut off at right.
Yeah,
But they will try to back up their claim with evidence. And somebody on the left who says abortion should be allowed at 24 weeks will also try to back up their claim with evidence.
Yeah.
A moderate will just be like, let's be simple in the middle. Although that might be the right viewpoint, you're just going with what society thinks is moral.
Yeah.
At least if you're on the far right or the far left, you're going to defend your argument very, very well. Example, Joe Biden's a moderate, okay?
Yeah.
Guy's an idiot, right? I don't like AOC or Marjorie Taylor Greene, Alexandria Cortez, but at least they both defend their arguments. And you get a far left approach or a far right approach. And one of those is going to be right because the middle approach cannot always be right. There's no middle ground. I was one who tries to believe in, and I believe in bipartisanship, but there's no like, you can't be for abortion and you can't be at the same time. You're either yes or no. So far left and far right, I think there's value in that argument and deciding what you are.
Have you heard of the Forward Party?
I have, and I think Andrew Yang is just a guy who's trying to seek attention and make money off.
Yeah, he's just a capitalist dickhead. He doesn't really care.
No. So, but I think it's a decent concept, but the leaders, it's falling apart. That's what you're going to see with this Vivek guy. You got to know who Vivek Ramaswamy is.
I've heard of the name actually. When I thought about it, I was like, yeah, I know
Vivek. Yeah. So he's going to be like Andrew Yang. So as then he's going to try to start probably like a third party against the Republicans. Because really what Yang did is he was mad that he lost the Democratic nomination. So then he started the Forward Party. And this is what Vivek will do when he loses to Trump or DeSantis or Nikki Haley. So yeah. The other thing is, that's just kind of my viewpoint on the politics. Do you have a different viewpoint?
Personally, like I said, I mean, I agree with you. I definitely do agree with you. I took a Gov class and we learned a lot in that class. I just think the Democrats and the Republicans, like I said, they've lost their ways.
Speaking up just a little bit.
They don't really care about the interest of the people. They care about the interest of themselves. They care about whatever's going to get them the most money, the most popularity, the best outcome. They don't care about what's going to give the country the best outcome. And that's why the Democrats and the Republicans, they're so focused on staying about their party and about their beliefs that they literally will say no, even if the Republican Party or the opposite party presents something that's reasonable. They just say no just because they don't like it.
Here's an example. I'm pro Second Amendment. However, though, I don't think that we need assault weapons. I want to make that very clear.
See, the problem, so I do agree with the right to bear arms. However, in the Second Amendment basically says any citizen has the right to bear arms.
Correct.
And there's a lot of viewpoints. A lot of people think, well, they meant.
So I don't believe in banning assault weapons because if I run for office, the far right will use this against me. But you don't freaking need it. You don't. Even if you're hunting, you don't need an assault weapon. And
that's what I'm going to get into.
Yeah.
So when
you're fine with a pistol.
A lot of people think like when they were talking about the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms, they were talking about the guns. So a lot of people say, oh, that just means any gun. So although we have advanced as a society and created more powerful weapons, they said that we should have the right to use these weapons. But then what I personally believe is that the weapons that they were referring to back then were handguns and small. They were talking about small muskets,
grenades,
and things of that sort. But the problem is that America has advanced so much since that time that they couldn't have predicted that. They had no idea that assault rifles were going to become a thing. They had no idea. They were referring to small weapons to protect yourselves, and we need to keep it that way. So little small caliber rifles, revolvers, 1.9, like little small guns we should be able to do, but assault rifles, that's obsessive. You don't need an assault rifle. That's a high powered weapon. Sure. You don't need that.
No, for sure. And just because of time sensitive Saturday, I don't want to keep you for too long. No, I think that's a valid point there. Or at least an age restriction.
Yeah, definitely. But the thing is, what a lot of people do is they have their older cousin or their older brother buy the gun for them.
And that's what a problem is.
As soon as you're 18, yeah. Yep. As soon as you're 18, you can just get the gun.
And family values are a big thing too, I think.
Family values, mental health. There's a lot of things
Yep.
that go into it. And the unfortunate thing with mental health that the damage is already there. It's going to be very hard to repair that.
Be nice to
damage.
each other. You never. I don't want to be the one to say this, but you don't know if because of your kindness you stop somebody from carrying out an act of violence.
But the problems that we have in America are underlying. There's the problems that we have are because of something else. So the mental health problem is not just because people are just born mentally insane now. No, it's because of, inflation, the struggles and the pressures of society, not having enough money to provide your family. Love has become like a big issue in our generation. A lot of people just want it for lust, for sex, and then they leave people.
I think that's been a thing since the start of society. But
that's true.
Adam and Eve
nowadays, like social media is really, enhanced that. So there's just a lot of underlying factors which have caused America as a country to get in the position that we're at. It's gonna be very hard to reverse that because we can't get rid of technology.
Valid.
We're not gonna get rid of phones. We're not gonna get rid
of
it's just not gonna happen. So there has to be an alternative solution to solve mental health. And I just don't think that we're going to come up with a solution that really works, which is unfortunate. The damage is already done and it's not going to go away, unfortunately. I think crime is just going to keep getting worse. Every generation is going to get worse. At least you're not lying like a politician here. So I appreciate that. And then just a couple other topics. I don't want to keep you for too long and have a 40-minute timer on this meeting. With some interviews, I've almost gone past that, but I always think that that's the right amount of time for a podcast, What are your thoughts? So sorry if I cut you off there a little bit. You're fine. Hey, if 1,000 people say I want them to keep going about their thoughts on crime and guns, we'll do a part 2. But if you want that, though, you're going to have to comment and let me know because I'm not going to track you down. But if you comment, I'll see it through my email. So, and when I check my views. So what would you say is something that what colleges did you tour? Purdue's getting a little free promo there and they don't even know it. Yeah, Purdue, U of I, UC Boulder, Georgia Tech.
What made this one better?
I liked at the time.
You didn't miss out because actually Colorado football has the same football record as us. 4-8 is how they finished.
Yeah, and
at
first when they were doing well, I was like, damn, I wish I went to UC Boulder. It would have been so live seeing Shador and Dion and Travis and all these people just going crazy. But,
Coach Prime.
Yeah, that Prime effect is real. But Purdue, it was one because it's fairly close to where I'm at.
And they freeze tuition, by the way. They just did it again through 25 and 26.
Year in a row.
They're doing it through 2025.
Which I don't personally agree is the solution to solve this housing crisis.
Wow. Okay, that's a different story.
Yeah. Purdue really because
because housing off campus is very expensive because they freeze tuition here, so they know that they can make money off you in a different way and it's still going to be cheaper.
Yeah. And they're increasing fares.
That's a capitalism question. Yeah. So again, if you say that you're against that, conservatives will come out here and they'll say, you want price control or something, price gouging and all that stuff. But so if you say that you're for putting in a cap somewhere when it comes to rent, they'll say that you're a socialist, conservatives. But from a socialist standpoint, these people do have to make money in some way. So that's a different argument. But I think, and we'll just discuss it real quick if you want. I don't think there's a really good argument for socialism or capitalism.
It's funny. I have strong opinions about socialism.
I lean capitalist, but I'm definitely a capitalist actually because I believe in free markets.
And my arguments are based off in education and a medical standpoint.
Wow.
So
don't want to discuss that quickly.
I can, but I feel like if I try to express myself, it'll get too long.
All right.
I have strong opinions about the school system and just America's
part 2.
Yeah, part 2. I don't want to start ranting. I don't want to get into that.
Where are you a Chicago Bulls fan?
Yeah, I'd say unfortunately.
Cubs or White Sox?
Cubs.
What do you think about?
Well, actually, no, Sox. I'm from the South Side, so I gotta go Sox.
Are they going to be moving out of Chicago?
The Sox?
I heard some rumors.
The Bears will probably, not the Sox.
Wow, the Bears might move.
They're going to move to Arlington Heights, which is a suburb.
I thought we were talking outside of the state. I was like,
no.
I would have heard that.
They're not moving out the state. They're just going to move from Soldier Field, which is literally in the city. They're going outside city limits to Arlington Heights.
Wow.
They're gonna create a whole new district. It's going to be the sports district. So there's going to be shopping, malls, apartments.
Sounds like a money hole.
Oh yeah, it's going to be a huge district because what they did is the area was a land grant at first, and it was owned by the the horse. I forget which racing company, and they sold their land, and the Bears organization bought it, and they plan to create a whole district.
Wow.
Whole district, everything Bears thing. There's gonna be Bears restaurants, hotels, shops that do merchandise, a big outlet mall, stadium, parking. It's gonna be much more than football. It's gonna be a whole like a whole environment,
Wow.
whole society.
Dang.
So it's gonna be a huge project.
And since you're from Chicago, I think a good way to end this is 3 pros and 3 cons.
Pros are definitely the opportunities, the size of the city. There's always a lot to do. The food. So those are my 3. The cons are we have a crime issue. The weather, I'm personally not a
And I'm glad that you reached in about how you think, being from a native of Chicago, how we can try to solve the crime issue.
Yeah. I definitely don't like the cold. That's just a personal preference. And outside of Chicago, like outside of the metro area, there's nothing. It's literally cornfields.
It's no different than Lafayette.
Oh yeah, nothing different.
And another thing, have you ever been to Lollapalooza?
I have. It was actually my first time this year, and I'm gonna go back next year, and I'm gonna go.
I've interviewed some people who have performed on it. What's better, Summer Smash or Lollapalooza?
Maybe I'd say for my audience, Summer Smash. Just for my audience.
Who's at Summer Smash or normal?
Those are mostly like rappers and hip hop artists and just people with younger generation. And Lala's more country and pop and stuff like that.
So 3 fun questions to end. Sorry, I kind of cut you off there. Favorite 90s rapper?
I gotta go with Wu-Tang.
Wow.
I gotta go with Wu-Tang.
He's still alive, right?
Well, I forget which of the members have died. Wu-Tang's a group. I can't remember which of the members have died and which ones are still alive, but I watched the Wu-Tang series on Hulu. I went to their concert a few months ago. I love Coolio too. I like Coolio, Pac.
Rest in peace, Gangster Paradise.
I love Gangsta Paradise. And that's what we were talking about in the SCLA the other day. Yeah, Pac, Biggie, obviously. Snoop.
The Notorious.
Dre, yeah.
Sir Mix-a-Lot?
Yeah. Lil Wayne started late 90s, so I don't know if you want to consider him.
I would.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Criss Cross, I think that's 80s though.
Country?
I like a little country. Not that much. Morgan Wallen, I like
Willie Nelson.
Willie Nelson. I'm getting more into Luke Bryan, Combs, and
Fast Car's annoying.
Who else?
But if you want to come on my show, Luke Combs, have your management hit me up. I've had on some other singers, not as big as you, but I'd be honored to have you
on. There's this one artist I can't think. My girlfriend put me on to him. We listen to him all the time. I can't think of his name. I feel ashamed.
Chris Stapleton?
No. I like what's her name? Suzanne Vega. She's not country, but she's an older artist. She made Tom's Diner.
Favorite like pop sensation or musical group? Maroon 5 and One Republic hit hard.
I used to listen to them all the time, 5th grade, man.
There's still some good hits. I don't care what you judge me all you want.
I used to listen to Taylor all the time too. 2015. It's still crazy.
Katy Perry. I like Katy Perry better than Taylor Swift.
Really? It's still it's amazing how relevant Taylor is. She literally started music so long ago. She was popping literally in 2015. I remember people were raving
2011, you belong
2011, with me. Yeah. In almost 10 years later, she's still
she just got Times Person of the Year.
Top. Like oof.
Crazy.
Yeah. She's making that money.
Crazy. Yeah. A good way I always like to end this is if you could change one thing about what you did, you're the same age as me, 18. What would you change? If you could go back. Yeah.
I wish I would have taken
more math.
No, actually, I did well in high school, but I feel like I could have utilized my ability, like my tools a little more. I wish I had taken computer science a little more seriously before I got here, because going straight into CS 159 with little.
You didn't see that.
Little to no.
There's a cap on, by the way. I would never do that at a nice conference.
That's
the entertainment part.
Experience. It was a struggle, but I've gotten through it. Yeah, high school, I would just go back, and I wish I had taken my APs a little more seriously so I can get more credits to transfer.
Yep,
I would have. Yeah, I've had some credits transfer, but I wish I could have gotten more.
I had 2. How many did you have in total?
I had 4, but I could have had more because I was in AP and IB literally since my freshman year.
Yeah.
So,
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be my advice. You can save money. It's just so many ways.
I would have skipped Calc 1, probably Calc 2. I would have been straight into Calc 3. Then I only would have had to do 3 semesters of Calc because I would have done 3 linear algebra, differential equations, and I think that's
and you have 6 now.
And then 6, that's right.
Now you have to take like 7 semesters.
I have to take 6, 5 after this semester.
It's tough.
That's gonna be rough.
It's tough.
Rough.
Well, I appreciate you coming on the Jacob Buehrer Show today. Is there anything else you'd like to say?
Just check out his podcast. I'm gonna try to bring more my audience to your podcast.
It's always weird, you never. Again, I enjoy every single interview. It doesn't matter. It could be Donald Trump in a chair next to me. That sounds really unrealistic, but I've been blessed to interview a vice president. I've had Sir Mix-a-Lot on.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who it is. I've had on people who have repossessed airplanes for a living. I find uniqueness in any conversation. But I'll tell you this much. I always love interviewing people our own age because I've never been confident talking to people around our age group. And this instills more confidence in me because I'm so used to interviewing like a quarterback who played football in the 1980s and won a Super Bowl. So to interview people our age, I really, really enjoy it. Yeah. So please know I enjoy it just as much as any other guest that's ever
been. I will be on the show more. This is going to be a thing now.
Good to hear. Well, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Hey, at least I know that's one less having to get on maybe 4 more people next year. Now I don't have to get on 4 more people because there'll be maybe 4 more interviews. Yeah. So, well, I appreciate it, man.
Of course, man.
If the Bulls go all the way, you're coming on.
I don't think that's going to happen, but let's see.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All the best, man. And SCLA was definitely a fun one.
It was. Thank you very much, Jacob.
Shout out to the wonderful Dr. Claire Mason. Suggest you take that class. Take care. See you next time.